Hello and welcome to the Blank Cover Network. I'm BCVDom and today we are talking about action figures, in particular the Reverse Flash from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line. Okay, let's get to it. So let's get stuck in here with the Reverse Flash from McFarlane. It's a really good looking action figure and one that I've been waiting for quite some time. It's been a while since we've had a good Reverse Flash action figure. If you're not familiar with who the Reverse Flash is, or maybe you don't read DC Comics or you've just seen the Flash TV series, whatever walk of life you come from, the Reverse Flash, just so you know, is clearly the archenemy of the Flash. He's the reverse of the Flash. The clue is in the name. And he is the archenemy of both Barry Allen and Wally West. Now, traditionally, Eobard Thawne is the Reverse Flash, although a few other characters have taken on the mantle of Reverse Flash, aka Professor Zoom. Yeah, Professor Zoom strikes fear into the hearts of many. Thawne debuted as the Reverse Flash, or Professor Zoom, back in the early 1960s in the Flash comics. And this particular action figure from McFarlane of the Reverse Flash looks like it's been inspired by the DC Rebirth era of comic books, which came after New 52 and before the New Frontier era, which is what we're in right now if you read DC Comics. If you are interested in learning a bit more about Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash, the enemy of Barry Allen and Wally West, then I thoroughly recommend checking out the collected volume, The Return of Barry Allen. There you go, that's your comic book recommendation for the week, The Return of Barry Allen, which was written in the early 90s. It's a really good read, and the Reverse Flash features heavily in that storyline. And the packaging is what we've come to expect from the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. We've got big panel windowing so you can see what the action figure looks like, what accessories it comes with. It also comes with the base stand and a collector's trading card of the action figure itself as well, which is, I think, a signature DC Multiverse McFarlane move. On the reverse of the card, you actually have a picture of the action figure in motion being posed, as opposed to Reverse Flash from the comic book itself, which is quite a nice change, I think. They've also edited some of it with Photoshop, so you don't get to see the Reverse Flash moving so quickly that he blurs in the background. He's still an action figure, unless you throw him that fast somehow? I wouldn't. Okay, let's open him up and I'm going to have a better look at this action figure and we'll compare him to the DC Multiverse Rebirth McFarlane Flash. And here we go, we have Reverse Flash with all of his accessories in the plastic molding, and on the back card of the packaging you can see we've got the trading card and the base stand. Let's get these things out. Let's talk accessories. We have the trading card, so if you are collecting McFarlane toys from the DC Multiverse line, you can pick up another trading card for your collection. We have the base stand, which is black and has the DC logo UV spot printed on the bottom there. And now accessories to plant all over the action figure. We have two red lightning bolts to attach to his wrists, two longer red lightning bolts to attach to Reverse Flash's ankles, one long streaking lightning bolt which you can attach to the bottom of one of his feet, and finally the double adjustable lightning bolt which you can attach to the back of the Reverse Flash. And we have the Reverse Flash himself. I mean, McFarlane are on a roll. They are making a ton of action figures and there really is something for everyone. From the Zack Snyder's Justice League wave, to the Injustice games, the animated series, and they have the comic book inspired action figures, and that is where Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash, comes into play. Like other McFarlane toys, it stands at about 7 inches or just under, and it's a retail action figure that is incredibly well made and superposable. It's what we've come to expect from McFarlane. We've got lots of ankle joints, wrist joints, all on a ball joint so it rotates really nicely there. We've got butterfly joints for the shoulders for the Reverse Flash, so actually you can get in him some pretty menacing running poses because he is a bit of a monster. He's a bit mad up there. It's been a really long time since we've had a good Reverse Flash action figure. I would say maybe Mattel's DC Multiverse line, almost 10 years ago now was the last time we had one. When they did the relaunch and Mattel was still in charge, there was a Reverse Flash that was inspired by the TV series, but it had very little articulation. It was maybe 7 or 10 points of articulation. It wasn't that good. We have waited for some time for a comic book inspired Reverse Reverse Flash, and here he is in all his glory. It's really good. The plastic mold is the same mold that they used for the Flash, the Barry Allen Flash, for the most part. There are some changes which we'll get into. I'm not sure what their process is, but the yellow really pops on this action figure. It looks so good, and because there's only a little bit of red lining around the gloves, on the boots, on the lightning by his ears, those little flourishes really complete this action figure. And because McFarlane actually do put quite a lot of effort into the textures of their plastic, and that shows. You can see here that there's actually this texturing on the thighs and on the side of the action figure, all the way up to the armpits, and on the from the shoulders, as if he's sort of got a slightly different material on his biceps compared to his forearms and the gloves and the boots that he wears. Also, what I like about the Flash action figures and the Reverse Flash here is he's got this really nice articulation at the chest, right along his sternum. So in terms of posing your speedsters, Flash, Reverse Flash, the Injustice Flash, you know, all the different Flashes that McFarlane have given us so far, you can actually get that good motion as if someone's stopping by pulling the chest back, or really leaning into the Speed Force run by leaning that chest forward and then tilting the head up. There's a lot of good posability here, and McFarlane have done a great job. Comparing Reverse Flash to Barry Allen Flash from Rebirth that McFarlane also did, is very similar builds. I think it's pretty much an identical buck that they have repainted. However, there's two important differences, and they are so crucial in turning the buck of a hero into the buck of a villain. They are the head sculpt and the non-fist hand. So clearly you can see here that the head sculpts are totally different. Both of them have lightning bolts over their ears. Yes, both of them have the lightning flourish that goes over the scalp and down to the back of the mask. But look how menacing Professor Zoom is. He's got this nasty grimace, he's gritting his teeth, and look at the paint job, this maniacal, villainous paint job they've done on the eyes. I really like the red outlining the white, which then has a black outline, as if the Speed Force itself is corrupting his mind. It's an incredibly good paint job, and a really small adjustment that has changed the character of this action figure. And then the other big difference is the left hand. So as you can see, the left hand of the Flash is outstretched. His fingers are stretched because he's running as fast as he can, using the Speed Force to run to wherever the danger is, to help as many people as he can, and his hand is wide open, it's non-threatening. Then we have the Reverse Flash, and his left hand is gripping, it's clutching, it's clawing forward as if he's trying to grab at the Flash or grab at his next victim. Again, a really small adjustment on what is effectively the same buck, but it changes the character of the action figure entirely. So you have a new paint job, or just a different color plastic used with the same buck, but you then have a different expression on the face, and one out of two hands is totally different, and there you go. You've got Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash, instead of Barry Allen. Okay, let's have a look at the Reverse Flash with some of the other action figures from my McFarlane collection. Here's the Reverse Flash with Superman, and this Superman, it's very heroic. He's got that strong jaw, really nice color palette. It's one of my favorite McFarlane action figures, and this will look really nice having a display of potentially the Justice League or the Flash and Superman up against Reverse Flash. Similarly, another entry in my McFarlane collection is the Batman, and this is the Batman from the Rebirth era, specifically the issue 1000 Detective Comics Celebration. There were two variants of this Batman. One is what you see here, and the other has the blue cowl and cape instead. And there was some crossover in the Rebirth era with this Batman, Barry Allen, and it was called The Button, and it was a bit of a mystery that they had to solve, and Batman got involved with the speedsters. Well worth checking that out. the Reverse Flash. He's currently retailing, I think, at about $20 or £20, depending on where you buy him from, and I think he's well worth a purchase if you're into the comic book line of action figures. The other thing to remember is it's been a while since we've had the Reverse Flash. I'm not sure when we'll get another version of this guy, so if you need him to fill any gaps in your collection, it's really good value for money. It's a well-made action figure with a really good paint job and an addition to your rogues gallery for the Flash. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this kind of content, then check out our podcast, Blank Cover Podcast. It's now in its 3rd series. We talk everything from comic books to gaming to action figures, and you can find us anywhere that you find podcasts. And we'll be back with another video very soon.